To breaking news now, and there are reports that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is set to resign as early as tomorrow. According to reports in the Globe and Mail, Trudeau will stand down as Liberal Party leader following an internal revolt. The embattled PM is set to announce the decision before a national caucus meeting. Trudeau has served as Canada's 23rd Prime Minister since 2015. A source has told Reuters he has yet to make a final decision.
Yes, a few weeks ago, we saw this coming. It came out clearly that this guy would not be able to stay there throughout, though at this time, I don't want to believe anything until it is done. Justin Trudeau cannot win the election anytime soon. Reason he is thinking to step down, it is necessary. Trump coming into power is a problem to these people, so they are thinking removing Trudeau maybe will calm down the pressure, because when you look through all the polls, you can clearly see the guy's losing badly.
Waiting for Justin Trudeau to resign is like waiting for a kidney stone to pass. If you've never passed a kidney stone, it's excruciatingly painful. And you just want it to be over. And that's how I feel about Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is Canada's kidney stone. I don't understand people who say, we don't want an election between... I would walk barefoot in the snow, minus 50 below, during a blizzard to vote him out. I would. I'd go to church and then go vote him out. Yeah. Justin Trudeau is Canada's kidney stone. Who else is with me on that one?
Does anybody else think it's funny how Donald Trump has officially done more for Canada, and he's not even in office yet, than Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister, has done for the country in years? Like, don't get me wrong, 25% tariffs would be terrible for us. And I shouldn't think this is funny, but I just kind of do, because he is calling for Trudeau to fix the things that so many of us have been calling for Trudeau to fix. But Trudeau doesn't listen to us. We're peasants, right? But he will listen to Donald Trump. And I just think it's hilarious how Donald Trump is basically like when you're fighting with your parents, so then you go and tell your grandparents about it, but then your parents are also telling your grandparents, so then your grandparents end up being the mediator who talks some sense into all of you guys. Donald Trump is basically our grandpa in this situation, because he's like, hey, Canada, I hear you. I know what's going on. Your prime minister tries to pretend like it's not going on, but I know that that's not true, and we're going to force him to fix it. And again, the tariffs, if they were to ever actually come into effect, would be very, very detrimental to our economy. But the threat of them alone is going to see our government actually listening to its people for the first time in years. Like, seriously, Donald Trump, within 3 weeks of being elected, is officially going to be cleaning up our streets better than our own government did, because he didn't care about it until Donald Trump threatened tariffs. And for that, I guess, thank you, Donald Trump, for trying to save Canada, because clearly our prime minister had no interest in doing that beforehand, which is really a damn shame, because I'm sure he would not be lagging so far behind in the polls if he had actually just taken that stuff seriously beforehand.
You can clearly see how people are losing their mind about Trudeau. People are suffering now. Then imagine if Trump comes in and increases tariffs, what will happen? People won't be able to survive. A lot of things will go wrong. When you look at a lady like this expressing anger.
Just 3 weeks after an emergency meeting with Liberal MPs, Justin Trudeau is about to face his party yet again. Since Finance Minister and key ally Chrystia Freeland resigned, waves of Liberal MPs have called for Trudeau's resignation. The latest from London, Ontario.
The continued leadership of Prime Minister Trudeau is just not tenable, in light, in particular, of what's happened with Ms. Freeland. I've taken the decision to call for him outright to resign today.
Over the holidays, Quebec, Ontario, and Atlantic caucuses signaled they want Trudeau to go. The group represents the majority of Liberal MPs, leaving the Prime Minister with very little support within his own party. Even with that pressure and days before a crucial meeting, Trudeau's future is still unclear. The Prime Minister returned to work on Friday but remained silent and avoided the media, something he has done since Freeland's resignation.
Well, actually, I think he's done. With all those MPs that are asking for his departure. I think this is not realistic to think that he could be in charge for the next election.
That election is due later this year, but the opposition wants it much sooner, and they're already campaigning.
Do I pay my rent or do I buy groceries? So I just want to know what you plan on doing with that.
Well, let's start with food.
The Conservatives and New Democrats releasing these videos.
We can win. If we fight, we can win.
The House of Commons isn't scheduled to return until the end of January, but the opposition parties aren't waiting, with the Conservatives planning to start the process to bring down the government on Tuesday.
According to this article recently put out by Reuters, Canada PM Trudeau is likely to announce resignation. Sources say OTTAWA, January 5th, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is increasingly likely to announce his intent to step down, though he has not made a final decision, a source familiar with Trudeau's thinking said on Sunday. The source spoke to Reuters after the Globe and the Mail reported that Trudeau was expected to announce as early as Monday that he will quit as leader of Canada's ruling Liberal Party after 9 years in office. The source requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly. Trudeau's departure will leave the party without a permanent head at a time when polls show the Liberals were badly lost to the official opposition consecutive in an election that must be heard by late October. Sources told the Globe and Mail that they did not know definitely when Trudeau would announce his plan to leave, but said they expect it will happen before an emergency meeting of Liberal legislators on Wednesday. An increasing number of Liberals parliamentarians, alarmed by a series of gloomy polls, have publicly urged Trudeau to quit. The Prime Minister's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
These ministers he's meeting with from Canada and Justin Trudeau, they're about to be wiped off the face of the map in an election. You saw the red wave occur in the U.S. that put Trump in a majority mandate. That's about to happen in Canada with even more momentum. He's very unpopular. Canadian people don't want him representing them. And so I would ask President-elect Trump, why don't you wait on all of these ideas until the Canadians have had a chance to elect their new leadership so that you're dealing with somebody, a leader, that has the same mandate you do, 4 years, because you can't get this stuff done overnight. And at the minute election is called in Canada, there's a chance, the polls are brutal. This is a parliamentary system in Canada. This Liberal Party is going to get wiped off the face. They won't even be the official opposition. So why waste your time talking to them?
Yes, I believe this is why he is scared that this will actually happen. When you take a look at this tweet, Kevin traveled to Mar-a-Lago after vowing to convince Trump about potentially forming an economic union with Canada. Raleigh, a Canadian himself, has said that he and many Canadians are serious about forming some sort of economic mutually beneficial union between the U.S. and Canada. Doing this could also lighten strain on the U.S.-Canada border and further allow the nation to focus on the border more north with Russia.
The polls currently show that they are way behind. Justin Trudeau has been the Prime Minister the last 9 years in Canada, and this definitely is important as its relationship to the United States. And to us, he has been the face of Canada, but clearly in Canada things have changed, and this is the latest that we have. We also don't know that if he does announce his resignation, whether he will resign immediately or whether he will stay on until a new Liberal Labour Party leader is chosen.
I usually say this on all my videos. If you see clips behind this, it is just for algorithm. Please, you can skip. You must not watch that.
And he's sold himself out for $1.
2024 election fried our brains.
It's less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
Attorney or something.
I've never seen that.
I saw so many liberals getting super excited.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million?
I want you to know what would change after doing this.
comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that. So, with that, I'm going to shake it off.
Figure out a way to say thank you.
That guy's name, he's such an absolute prick. I can't stand him. But anyway,
Hey there. You're not doing great.
Terrible night last night. It was a terrible night.
What will the rest of us be doing on day one?
Bishop Vigano, he says
if I look at the big picture, it doesn't look good. So I'm going to work on this.
No matter what's going on out there in the world, of course, the worst things could happen.
so we fell short.
One often hears of the sort of George Soros boogeyman, but
the United States as a whole.
This shows me is the weakness of Donald Trump.
That is unequivocally
These
Race into a complete
Canada, girl, wait.